Boys and girls. I would like to do lesson 18 or exercise 18 on page 46 and 47. When you receive money, when a business receives money, we're going to use a cash register journal. So when you have a cash register journal, you have to issue cash receipts. So you have to issue a receipt, or if you do work with a cash register, you will have a cash register roll as your source documents. So when you do a CRJ, it says cash received. What is cash? Checks, cash as you know it, 50 Rand notes, 100 Rand notes, 10 Rand notes, 1 Rand note, not a note, coin. Alright, so that's your cash. Alright, so when a business receives money, we need to complete a cash register journal for every amount that the business receives. So it says here, okay, let's first just go on. If you receive money from the bank, you will communicate, the bank will communicate with you through a bank statement. And on the bank statement, if you receive money from the bank, then it is interest on current account. When will you receive money from the bank, that interest? When you have a positive bank account. Then the bank will pay out at the end of the month at a certain percentage on your balance. They will give you some interest. All right? I said, Joe, who do we receive money from? From the owner. When you receive money when the business receives money from the owner, it's capital. When the business receives money from the tenant, it is rent income. When the business receives money from another company, business or person, it can be commission income. Why do you have commission income? My friend sells products, but they don't have a shop. I do have a shop, so I tell them, okay, you can have that space, but I want 10% of all the sales. That's commission income. All right, so they don't have to pay rent, nothing. They can stay at home, make that product, put it in my business. I sell it for them, but I receive commission for every product that I receive, that I sell. And then service fees or service rendered, that's current income. So if you receive money, cash received, then you have to give them a receipt or a cash register slip. You will have the cash register roll, and then you have to complete your cash register receipt journal. Sorry, it's cold in the class, that's why I think my brain's really frozen. Now it says here, Andre Maria is the owner of Salon Andre. The business renders a service to the public as a hair salon. Require? Enter the following transactions in your CRJ. So all these transactions will go into your CRJ. But now, what's very important? The source document. What are you going to look for? Going to look for a receipt number, a cash register roll, if they do. A salon can have a cash register, but if you're like a plumber, then you're not going to walk with your cash register to every person's house and then, listen, can I use your electricity, plug the cash register in, and then that you charge them. No, then you work with receipts, all right? And then when the bank communicates with you, it's a bank statement. All right, so that's the 3 source documents that we're going to look for when we do the CRJ. So the very first one, and when we did this in lockdown, I've actually color-coded everything for you. So I've taken the transactions and my cash receipts journal, and I have highlighted every single thing in color for you. So please, I will take a photo again, send it to you, but please just go and look nicely. I'm going to do this cash receipts journal, and then I'll do a payments journal, and then we'll combine the two again. All right. So the first transaction, if you look at your transactions, you'll see it's 2013 July, and then it has numbers 116. That's the day. On the first day of July, the transaction took place. On the 16th of July, the transaction took place. So the very first one, on the 1st of July, says, A. Maria commenced business by depositing 700,000 directly into the current bank account. Your current bank account is your check account. Every business, when they start a business, the owner needs to open a check account, a current account. And we have then we issued receipt number 1 to him. So what does that mean? A. Maria commenced business. So he started a new business, and his business name is going to be Salon Andre. Right. So when he started a business and he deposited money into the bank account, that is called capital. All right. So when you look at your CRJ, you can have any columns that the business wants to open. But they gave us our columns. So our first one is document number. So your document is going to be your receipt number or your cash register roll number, or if you receive from the bank, it will just be BS for bank statement. Right? The second column is your day. What day in July did this transaction take place? Then your detail column. That will be, how come did I receive money, or from whom? So if you don't know from whom, we do know. We received money from the owner, and the owner is A. Maria. So in this transaction, we know it's A. Maria. All right. But if you don't know who's the person, then you've rendered a service. Then you will use the details as service rendered or service fees. Then your analysis of receipt is all the money that you've received on that very day, you're going to put in your analysis column for the day. And then at the end of the day, you're going to draw a deposit line, and then you're going to add that amount and bank on the very next day. In the mornings, you will go and bank that big amount. You're not going to bank every amount separately. All right, so the day's receipts will be banked the very next day. Then you've got your current income column. Your current income column is service fees. So when you've got a business that renders a service, you will have a current income. Because if somebody comes enters your business and you cut their hair, you have rendered a service to them, and they will pay you for that service that you've rendered, and that is current income. And that's the only column we have. So I told you that we can also receive money from the owner, capital, from the tenant, rent income, or we can receive money commission income. We do not have columns for that. So then we're going to use our sundry. Sundry means diverse, many. There's a lot of different accounts. All right? So you add that into these columns, the amount and then the details. So what will the details be? Why did we receive money for capital? Why did we receive money from a person for commission income or rent income, or from the bank, interest on current account? All right, so that's what you have to go and complete. So let's see, on the very first day of July, so you can start on the first day of July, A. Maria deposited 700,000 directly into the bank account. So we won't put it in our analysis column. So 700,000 Rand directly into the business bank account. So You must remember now, this business is receiving money. So the bank account is going to increase as we put money into the bank account. And what was that 700,000 rand for? It was from the owner, and he started his own business. So in your sundry account, amount 700,000, and the owner gave money to the business. He started a new business, so that's going to be capital. Then on the 16th, sorry, I'm not finished. Then the first sentence said issue receipt number 1. So my document's going to be receipt number 1. Okay, you have to read your whole sentence. Then on the 16th, they said cash received. Can you see we have received money? So we're going to issue or a receipt or a cash register slip to the client. We are keeping a cash register roll in our books. So we've cash received for service rendered. So I'll write just service rendered, and the amount according to the cash register roll number 1. Cash register roll number 1. And we've received 12,300 rand. So I've received 12,300 rand for service rendered. I'm going to put that amount in my analysis column, and service rendered is current income. So I'll also put the amount into my current income column. Now, very important, was there any other money received on the 16th? No. The next time we receive money is on the 23rd. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw a deposit line to say that was the end of the day, and the very next day you're going to send one of your workers to the bank to deposit the money into your bank account. How much must they deposit? 12,300 rand, because that was the only money that we've received on the 16th. On the 23rd, it reads, service fees according to the cash register roll amounted to 21,900 rand. So we've received money because we've rendered a service. But now you don't have to write this service rendered. You can also write service fees. Okay, so any of those two words are correct. So service fees according to the cash register roll. Now if your cash register roll on the 16th was number 1, on the 23rd it will be number 2. And the amount was 21,900 rand. Always in my analysis column, because I'm not going to send that person home and say, listen, pay when you get home. Oh, just pay directly into my bank account. Some of your clients you don't even know, so how will you trust them? So you receive the money before they walk out, all right? And then they say, that service fees is then current income. Can you see I didn't bank the 21,900 yet? Because on the same day, the owner increased his capital by handing over a personal check to the amount of 50,000 to the bookkeeper. Can you see he handed over the money in the business to the bookkeeper? He didn't pay it directly into the bank account. So the owner, we're going to give receipt number 2 on the 23rd. You don't have to write 23 again because you've already written that. But if you wanted to see that it was on the same day, you're welcome. A. Maria, because the owner gave extra capital. But what was the difference? He handed the check over to the bookkeeper. He didn't pay that money directly into the bank account. Alright? So in my sundry accounts, 50,000 and again capital. Right, now I have to go and see. My next transaction is on the 23rd. Can you see at the end of the 23rd, I have to draw my deposit line, and the 24th, I'm going to send somebody to the bank with an amount of 7,900 Rand. Okay, see I write it in the last line. Right? So the 71,900 Rand needs to be paid into my bank account, needs to be deposited into my bank account. Right? You can take it yourself, or you're going to send your bookkeeper or any other person that's trustworthy. Alright. Then on the 25th it says service fees. So service fees, you should know you work with a cash register roll because they told you in that very first transaction already that you're using a cash register roll. Right, so it's going to be number 3. Right, and then the amount of 26,100 and service fees is current income. Alright, then when you go and see your next transaction is on the 30th. Can you see on the last or on the 25th, you're going to draw your deposit line, and then you're going to say, listen, please, one of your workers needs to go to the bank and they have to deposit 26,100 Rand into your current account, into your check account, into your bank account. Right, so then on the 30th, it says service fees. If you want to, you can write this service rendered. It will be cash register roll number 4. And then you have received 32,600 Rand. Service fees is current income. And then on that same day, you also received 8,000 Rand from the tender, T. Makelepo. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Sorry, girls and boys. You have to come and teach me how to pronounce that. Alright, so I'm just going to write it nicely. Lepo. Okay, and you've received 8,000 Rand from him, and that's going to be in your sundry accounts, 8,000 Rand rent income. The sentence says it's your tenant. So your tenant, you've received money from him or her, and that's rent income. So the very next day, you're going to draw your deposit line, add that, and send somebody to bank your 40,600 Rand. And then the last transaction says on the 31st, according to the bank statement, BS bank statement, received from Mercer Bank, to the receipt from Mercer Bank, interest to the account to the amount of 200 Rand was earned on the current account. Right? So now you will not receive, the bank's not going to send you the money and ask you to pay it into the bank account. They're going to pay it directly into your bank account. So your bank's going to be 200 Rand, increase of 200 Rand, in your sundry 200 Rand, and it's going to be interest on current account. And that was your last transaction. So all you have to do at the end of the month, you have to add your columns. But you will never add your analysis column, because that was only to help you with your bank. Can you see these amounts were paid into your bank account? So please do not add your analysis column, right? So if you add your bank, I've already done that, so I'm just going to write it down and not waste time to add it for you. So it's 851,100 92,900 and 758,200. And if you add these two, it should also give you your bank. All right. Thank you.